I have a very special guest. She is very awesome. She's a Second Amendment advocate, and she really focuses in on women and issues that they have regarding Second Amendment and getting them into shooting and that sort of thing. Dezarae, are you there?
I am. Good afternoon. Good
How
afternoon
are you?
to both of you. Good. I'm great. How are you guys?
Hey, aren't you real surprised that there's a gun show in California?
Am I surprised?
Yeah.
No, there should be gun shows in California.
Yeah. The radio wave should be full of them.
I know, but I mean, it's just so funny that you don't normally hear of a gun show in California, but we try to do our level best to educate the masses. Straight news, no fake news, nothing, no guesses or no innuendos, just the actual fact of the matter. And we're so glad to have somebody from the NRA call in, and you are the women's outreach coordinator. So from that point of view, what is your job? What do you actually do?
I actually, up until this past year, in the middle of the past year, I was the women's outreach coordinator for the members' councils, which are the California grassroots of the NRA.
Okay.
So they are run by somebody who works for the EVP's office, so they're under the EVP's umbrella.
For the NRA, under Wayne LaPierre's umbrella.
Yes.
And what's EVP?
Yeah. The executive vice president, which is Wayne LaPierre. So he has an administrator that works full-time in California at the grassroots level with members' councils. They're called the NRA Members' Councils of California. And I was the coordinator for their women's committee for the state.
Part of your work as a volunteer is you actually were the founder of the Women's Outreach Committee. And what was the catalyst for that? What made you come up with that great idea?
Well, coming here I'm not a California native. I'm from Montana. But coming here, I was volunteering at gun shows, and women would approach me and say, the firearms, I don't have firearms, they're scary, this is my dad's thing, this is my husband's thing, it's my boyfriend's thing. And I stepped forward and said, there has to be something for women here to get involved. I'm an NRA member, I'm pro-firearms, I'm pro-hunting, and all my kids know how to shoot. And I said, let me do something. So I jumped in, got this thing going with women's outreach, and we were starting to spread like wildfire. So we have a lot of women now that are involved that never were involved.
That's awesome. That's cool. Now, when you say involved, what kind of activities do you guys typically do?
We do laser events. We do the NRA program, so we've done Women on Target and Refuse to be a Victim. My goal is and was to get more women as certified instructors in firearms, and we've had a lot of success there. We have luncheons. We help promote Eddie Eagle, the gun safety mascot. So we get out there and we kind of just help volunteer and get different things going to get more women active, and therefore children come into the program too. They're learning at a young age that firearms are not the bad thing that the media is putting out there.
Yeah, so social events and educational events and political events and community building.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys do a ton of community building events.
We do. And most of the events that they have done are open to the public, so we outreach. It's called outreach, so we're outreaching to other people, bringing them in, showing them who the NRA is, who their local groups in California are, telling them to get involved, and it's really working. They're seeing that we're gals, we're active, we're fun, we're not scary, and it's making them be passionate about it too.
Now, what would you like to accomplish if you look down the road 5 years or 10 years? What big accomplishment would you like to see in Southern California when it comes to the Second Amendment or women in the Second Amendment or what's your big dream?
Man, I think there's a chance for a revival in the hearts and minds of the 2A supporters in California. I know they're out there. I would love to see more women in the leadership roles of politicians, school boards, city councils, all 2A. I would love to see them more 2A supporting, helping the education get into schools. I think there's a huge chance at revival for getting more women opportunities to defend themselves. I would just love to see a revival, getting politicians from the larval stage and making them something great that would give us an opportunity to fight at the state level.
And you're somebody who came from out of state, from Montana. Montana tends to be very pro-Second Amendment. And you have seen kind of the inner workings of parts of some of the, the NRA, and you're a very smart lady and very motivated and very knowledgeable. What's your impression of California or in Southern California, coming from that background and jumping right into the fight and kind of seeing, volunteers and seeing employees and seeing the way everything works? What's some feedback? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? Or what are your impressions?
Oh man, what a world of difference coming from kind of the land of milk and honey as far as firearms go, and coming here and have to register firearms and none of your CCWs are good. Just a whole nother atmosphere. It was really eye-opening. Jumping right into something 2A, especially working with the NRA, I think what's lacking is a face in California, faces in California. I think it's kind of like some of the political parties where you have too many people, but you're not sure which one is the real deal or which one has your best interest at heart. I think a lot of the political stuff has changed in the last 20 years because of lack of leadership in the 2A in California.
Interesting. I honestly, one of the reasons, probably the biggest reasons that San Diego County gun owners and now Orange County gun owners exists is, I described it very similar. There was a vacuum of leadership when it came to Second Amendment issues. So, the big reason I'm having you on the show today, I've been wanting you to come on the show for a while, but we are having you on today because you are our very special guest speaker at all of our meetings this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday at Gunfighter Tactical, Wednesday at Cal Customs up in Fallbrook, and then Thursday down in Chula Vista at the Outback Steakhouse. And you're going to talk to folks. Can you touch on a little bit of the message you're bringing to the meetings?
I do want to talk to the folks about, just because we lost one of the battles, they shouldn't give up hope. A loss is just an encouragement to keep going. It may seem like a big loss in the state with all of the gun laws coming down the pipeline, but that should just give more motivation and more opportunity to take a stand and make a name and make your appearance, because it's going to be surprising when they see all of these people come back fighting. I'll tell them a little bit about some of the ladies I've encountered and what has changed their minds towards firearms. We've had Las Vegas shooting survivors and other similar women show up and need that reassurance and to be unafraid. And I want to talk about some of the strides that have been made just because people want to go out and get involved.
All right. Dezarae, awesome. Thank you very much. And hopefully you will not be a stranger. We'd love to have you back on down the road.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
And I don't know if you ever get a chance to talk to Wayne, but if you do, tell him that him and I used to do a gun show about 3 years ago here in San Diego, and he was a special guest. And if he could ever take the time to call back in, we'd love to chat with him.
Yeah, I know Wayne is 2A all the way. Wayne has a heart for 2A, and he always will.
All right, kiddo. All right, thank you very much. You have a great day.
Thank you both, and I'll see you, Mike, this week.
See you Tuesday.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, folks, this is Guns and Sports Radio, FM 90.
Without someone doing something about it, it's not going to get any better.